Okay, I can... Oh my gosh, I'm so hot. Hello, beautiful gremlins! I don't really understand
where I got this idea from.
It's not like it's an original idea, and it's common practice in the art community to draw random objects or ideas as people. And I'm not dissing that because I love it so much, which hence why I'm doing it. So with that, I randomly wanted to randomly generate random aesthetics with a random aesthetic generator.
I'm so obnoxious, I'm sorry.
Some people will find that charming, I'm sure. Not really, I wouldn't blame anyone if they didn't. I have had this idea for a while, but I never really could find a good aesthetic generator that actually gave me aesthetics and not just random words that I would have to string together to make something. Well, after looking for so long, I finally bit the bullet and decided to use the first one that came up when I searched it. I don't really know if it's the best one, but it definitely pushed my creativity. I generated 3 because that's always fun. Would you like to see them? Alright, Rainbow Punk! Slightly contractionary, yet you could mix them so well together at the same time. When you look up Rainbow Aesthetic, then Punk Aesthetic, you will definitely get things that hardly look like each other. But truly, thinking about Rainbow Punk, it doesn't exactly seem unobtainable. I gathered a bunch of inspiration pictures and then grabbed my sketchbook and started to draw out some ideas, combining the two aesthetics together to see if I could get something that I am happy with and
proud of.
It didn't take that long, but it was so much fun to do. When I looked up Rainbow Aesthetic, I always saw high-waisted flare pants that had painted things on them, but when I tried it, I didn't like it that much while also trying to match it with the punk. So instead, I just thought I would put the character in a skirt, which I saw a lot of in my punk inspiration, and drew some patterns on it to make it look like they painted things on it. That pretty much sums up a lot of what I did. I would add things from both aesthetics and change things to match them into
A Frankenstein monster
that I don't even know if it looks good. I do hope it looks good. Now it's time to mix it all together and see what happens. I decided to draw this on Ibis paint. I don't know why. I work slower on Ibis paint just because I am not used to it and I have to do a lot of techniques differently than how I usually do, so that slows me down as well.
but I really just wanted to.
I wanted all these drawings to just be simple things, which is why I got worried when this drawing took me almost 5 hours. Anyway, I had the full idea of the pose I wanted to draw in my head, and it was so vivid that I thought there would be no way there wasn't a reference picture for it. But then I didn't know what to look up to find said pose. But I finally figured it all out and combined a few references to try and get something I semi-wanted. But it was
So hard
to draw. Not that it was that complicated, but I don't draw poses with foreshortening and perspective like this often. I know, it's tragic. I really need to practice them. Now it was as good as time as any, I guess. After struggling with the pose and all that, I still really didn't like it all that much, so I fiddled around with it a lot, and that involves a lot of undoing, so you guys are never going to see it, I guess. Just know that it was a struggle, and I'm scared it wasn't worth it. But I think it was! The pose is cute, and it's actually pretty close to my original idea, so I'm happy about that. There were just so many little things in the design that I needed to add, which wasn't
that much
of an enjoyable experience, but they were all so necessary, and the character wasn't meant for an animation or a long-term project where I needed to be drawing her a lot, so I thought I would be able to go all out with the details. Yes, mistakes were made, but I do kind of think it looks cool. The coloring was really more of a nightmare for me, not as much as the posing was
by any means,
but it was still pretty big. One of the most important parts of the rainbow aesthetic is the rainbow. 10 out of 10 rating there, Storm. I decided that I wanted this girl to have more of a pastel rainbow vibe. Don't ask questions, I guess I just thought I was Mariah Elizabeth. However, I did realize something about the pastel rainbow I was using. It didn't have any different values at all. So when I put the drawing in grayscale, it just looked like small variations of the same color. And at this point, I was very scared because I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is awful and I'm going to have to scrap this video because I can't draw and I just can't do it. And after taking a step back from the melodrama, during my time in grayscale, I changed a lot of the color values and made sure that there was enough contrast while still being pastel enough for my personal taste. Obviously, you cannot see the grayscale and the panic that ensued, but trust me, it was there and I was scared. Luckily, I think I was able to push through it and get some nice colors. Shading for me looks quite weird, and in the first part of the method, I usually have to select a lot of things And since I didn't think Ibis Paint's magic wand tool could cover every ground that I needed it to, I just drew on the selection layer to select all that I needed to. I know, I'm a genius.
No one has ever thought of this before.
I'm making a joke. There was seriously a trend a little bit back about drawing with the selection tool. I am not a genius. I'm just someone looking for praise for some reason, and I'm truly sorry about it.
Never mind it all.
Shading wasn't that fun to do. Even when I went to the second part of shading with cell shading and only one color, I don't really think I ever had fun with this drawing, and the only experience where I can say I was enjoying myself would most likely be the line art, which is interesting because that part isn't exactly the most popular among artists, myself included. While none of this experience for me was truly that happy, I really did like the concept of this drawing and the finished product. It was so much fun and gave me so much hope for the other two concepts I had to make for this video. I do hope you guys like this drawing because I do. I made sure to use some saturation and give it a more happy, nostalgic feel. I don't know if I was able to necessarily accomplish that, but I did try. On to the next one. Alright, I have to be honest. I had no idea what to do with this. I had never heard of a wave aesthetic, however, I guess I had heard of the concept. However, when I went to look it up, it looked nothing like
How I was imagining.
I'm sure there is a word in front of wave to make it into an aesthetic I know about. I didn't know it and I was tired. There goes me, not understanding how to do life again. But whatever, I thought it was really interesting. When I looked up death aesthetic, I pretty much knew what was going to come up. It was gothic and dark, and I started to panic because I really had no earthly idea how I was going to do this. But I put the thought out of my mind and tugged myself up by my bootstraps and went to make a board of all my inspiration. Once that was done, I grabbed my sketchbook and did what I did the last time by combining everything together until I got something that I liked. Also, I have to say, those pants, I love those pants so much. Yeah, I'm definitely using those pants. I was having a hard time figuring out how to combine them because both seem to have flowing parts on their outfits. I saw more of the flow on the arms of the death aesthetic, so I made sure to add that. I also saw a lot of corsets with it, so I added that as well. The wave aesthetic also seemed to be more normal outfits, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but you would see a lot of people wearing it on the street and no one would bat an eye, I guess. That's kind of, I don't really know what I'm saying, I'm sorry. A lot of them definitely seem to be more like a calming beach outfit. Once I got something that I was happy with, I started drawing the finished version back on Procreate because I needed to get this video done and I knew that using Ibis Paint again would not work for my schedule. And goodness, it was 2 hours less on Procreate. But I'm used to it, so of course it was. I struggled a lot with the pose, but I finally got to where I wanted it, even though I don't really know if it looks good. I also struggled a lot with the pose on the last one, so maybe it's just me at the moment. Either way, I was able to get it done. The colors were pretty easy to accomplish just because it was the simple concept of turning something dark and turning something calming into something dark and calming. It was definitely much easier than trying to balance all the colors on Rainbow Puck, and there were obviously less colors to go around, and for that,
I was grateful.
the drawing was really in my comfort zone, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I do see a little bit of flaws with it, but looking at the bigger picture, they are hardly noticeable, and honestly, why am I even focusing on them? I hope you like this one as well. It was definitely interesting to do. This one, I feel like was by far the biggest challenge of this video. Genuinely do not think I could have gotten more opposite aesthetics. Scene is alternative and a blend of punk and emo and all that.
Jazz!
With so many bright colors, while academia is preppy and neutral colors and, well, not scene. So this was going to be a very big challenge. One thing that I realized while drawing this is that all these styles really have something in common with the outfit choices. And I feel like a lot of aesthetics use arm warmers and fishnets, but it also made me scared because I wanted them to all be different from each other. But I think I was able to accomplish it, so...
But nice.
This took a shorter amount of time to design than the other two, I think because it was just so hard to put together that my brain was just trying to find a good medium in the most efficient way possible. I still like the outfit that I was able to create, but I don't really know if it looks that put together. I added the fishnets and arm/leg warmers that seem to be present in scene outfits and added more vested skirt combos that seem to be in academia. Also, when I was looking at inspiration for scene, I found a picture of this girl with a tiara, so I decided to add that in as well, just because I thought it was really cool. I read a book where the main character wears tiaras all the time, and it kind of reminded me of that, but it also made me a little scared that I was accidentally going to draw fan art. I didn't, by the way, I don't think. The drawing for this was a struggle like the other two,
So at least I am consistent.
but I feel like it went smoother than it usually did. However, I don't know why, but I just felt personally connected with this girl. I think it was just her face or something. Her two aesthetics don't match at all, and it honestly looks like she wants to be seen, but goes to a prep school, so she's doing all that she can to express herself while staying in dress code. Honestly, I just want to say that I do have to apologize to the male population. I was going to do a boy character in this video just to show off aesthetics and more masculine clothing. However, during the process of searching for outfits, I forgot to consider this. And in the end, I just wanted to stay in my comfort zone and draw women. Sorry, I do like men. Sometimes. I do think that the drawing turned out really cute. I don't know how I feel about the colors, but I did try hard to make them look seen. And I did kind of add to the academia colors because, well, they were neutral and it goes against all of what scene stands for. But I did try to add it whenever I saw possible, even though it does kind of get swallowed. This drawing was both stressful, but also so much fun, and I do hope you guys like it despite the interesting mashup. Aesthetics are genuinely such a cool way to show off your creativity and individuality in clothing. Honestly, if I weren't so awkward and poor, I might dress an aesthetic I like. This video was genuinely so much fun to make, and it pushed my brain and creativity a lot, and I loved every second of it. The girls I made are so cute, and I think all have interesting styles, but also look like they are all tied together in a set. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I had fun making it, and if you want to see this concept again in the future, let me know. That was cringy, I'm sorry. Also, tell me which girl is your favorite, because I personally cannot decide. Please, please, please go and do something that made you happy. You deserve it so much. Ah! If something that makes you happy is watching another video, then the video on your screen is something that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Give it a watch. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Bye!